time to give you a little history about the things and the way things went on. Why it took me 30 extra years to start transitioning medically again with medical help, which still isn't perfect because they're fighting everything still. This was me in 1999. This was me in 97. First time I took hormones was in 1984, which quickly, when my parents found out, threatened the doctors who knew by law they could be charged with felony medical malpractice because of a fucking retard, a moron that went out to kill us, to destroy us. I lived through and survived it. I call it the Paul McHugh era, when psychiatrists would completely turn the other cheek, especially if they were male. The one that I tried to get a second opinion from, asked my name and age, which I told him I was 21 and my name is this. And he got on the phone and talked for an hour and said, oh, that's all the time I have, and never said another word to me. That's all he knew was my name and age. He did not sit there and talk with me for 1 second and decided my fate was that I didn't know what I was getting into. What the half-wit jackass didn't know was that I was studying medical science to become a doctor. A lot of things have come out since then and shown Paul McHugh to be a lying piece of garbage. So why did this psychiatrist, who was supposed to be a medical professional, do this? Because he was a Catholic and he belonged to a group called the Heritage Society, which is marked now as a hate group and anti-LGBT. He told a roommate that he was going to become a psychiatrist and become the head of John Hopkins. Also, he could shut down the transsexual research and services that was going on there, including the sexual reconstruction operation, which is what he did for decades. It wasn't until 1999 when a better psychiatrist had set up a test, one that was real and did not go by religious bullshit. This is what religion does to science. It has done it for decades and centuries. They locked Galileo in his room until he died because of his words on Jupiter and the fact that the Earth wasn't flat, it was round, and it was not circling, everything circling around it, it was circling around the sun. And they persecuted him for it and locked him in his room. But he was supposed to die, but he had a friend that was an archbishop, so they stuck him in a room until he died. Religion must be destroyed. Churches must be pulled down. There should be no Islam, no Christianity, and no Judaism. There should be no religion at all. Period. It's a lie, every bit of it. They're all cults. They're all trying to persuade you to think their way, which is the wrong way. That's why both Muslims and Christians and Jews say that it's a fool that does not believe in the Word of God. Believing in anything without physical proof is what a fool is. If you believe blindly without any kind of physical, tangible kind of truth that has been tested and proven to be factual, you're a fool. A fool took away 30 years of my motherfucking life. A fool killed millions of transsexual females who suicided out over the decades because of this idiot shitball called Mr. Paul McHugh. I will not call him a doctor. He is not a medical professional. He is a bigoted, simple-minded, half-witted retard that believes in God. You may be upset because I don't. But I know the truth. I know everything in the fields of sciences that I need to know to do my work. I can do any fields. I've proven that since I was, 13 years old? when I took a science teacher and destroyed his ass in a test that was way too far above our level. You do see what I do, don't you? You do get what that is, don't you? You do start to realize, wait a minute, that's a telescope. Yes, it is. And it's got a large F number, 3,048 millimeters, and F10. You do get that this telescope is quite powerful for its size, and it is. You can see pretty much anything. Now, you can't see the spiral on galaxies without a camera, but you can see some of the edge-ons. If you notice, the room is no longer discolored. It's because I moved the bitch into the bathroom for a while. And added a fan to keep everything kind of down on the low. So you can see she's in there. She's quite smelling wonderful, and she's doing what she needs to do, and she's in flower now, so she'll be good to go. Whether it's agricultural, whether it's medical, whether it's cosmological, I comprehend it very well. 3.7 billion years ago, when the Earth was just forming and was only probably about, half a billion years old, so 500 million years old. We had a bombardment of special rocks. Some of those rocks showed up a little later. Inside them was amino acids and about 80 or so odd highly complex biochemicals. You believe in a God, you're a fool. We came from another planet that was starting life, that was destroyed from its start, supernova. You want to see the son of your God? Go outside and stare at the sun. Because your creator were stars. To think otherwise is absolutely moronic. To think that there's some sky fairy sitting in the clouds watching your every moment is a simpleton's way. You do not explain why things happened by saying, oh, God did it. And I've heard so many people do this. Oh, well, there's no such thing as gravity. God made it that way. So you don't understand the electromagnetic inner workings of elements and chemicals. You don't understand that each element has its own mass, and that once mass gathers so much, it starts using a pull that we call gravitation, and even though it's a weak force, because it's weak and strong, the larger and more massive the material becomes, it causes pull, or what we call gravity. That's why when you drop a ball, it falls. It gains speed at 9.8 meters per second. That's why the equation